Ning. I am 16 years old this year and I'm a year 10 student. The learning here changed my perspective for education. For example, when I was still in my old national secondary school, I constantly felt that lessons were just dumping info on us for the sake of exams. I really couldn't learn much and I was struggling a lot. My friends, they had tuition while I didn't. So that made me depend more on them to help me understand the subject. Whereas here, I felt relieved to learn that the teachers do give students the attention that each of us need for our own learning. And slowly over time, I was able to gain better skills, which overall helped me to become a more responsible learner. Well, I don't think everyone will feel like this because it really still comes down to the students' own initiative and the amount of effort they put in to reach out for the resources that are provided for them. But I do find that the learning environment here is way more positive and encouraging. Right from the start, I had to be quite independent and find ways to adapt to this new school, since I ever only had experience with education from the national syllabus. I guess that was one of the biggest changes I had to overcome, because the learning process in these two environments, they are very different from each other. Well, the most obvious difference would be the language used daily. In Tenby, I had to step out of my comfort zone and communicate a lot more in English, which definitely helped me to improve a lot in the language itself. Other than education, I have also grown a lot in my confidence and my mindsets. Firstly, about confidence. I think it is because there were plenty of opportunities for students like me to participate in activities or events, like how we would have assemblies for different celebrations. Those were one of the most common ways for students to have a chance to perform on stage. For me, I think the most memorable performance I was ever a part of was the Oliver play that happened a few years ago. It was the first time I ever had to participate in a group performance of such a large scale. And I actually got quite an important role, which was the narrator. There were a lot of things that I had to adjust to in preparation for the play. For example, in rehearsals, I have to make sure I can cooperate well with the rest of the members. And there were a lot of open discussions which I have to join in. This is also something I found to be very common here in Tenby. Everyone is always encouraged to pitch in their thoughts, and everyone else would have to respect them. Well, getting back to Oliver, it was a really satisfying feeling when I realized that I have accomplished my role to speak confidently in front of a huge audience. And that really gave me the reassurance I needed for a lot of other situations that followed on. Like, I do realize that I was becoming more and more confident in my own abilities, and that made me have the motivation to actively work on myself. I also mentioned about having changes in my mindset. Here, the school encourages something called international mindedness, which is a new concept that I only came across in recent years. And with having a lot of the discussion opportunities and knowing that it is indeed a safe place for us to share, I always found it interesting to see how others' thought processes might differ from mine. And constantly learning about their ways of thinking slowly developed me into seeing things in a more open perspective and to be accepting of different people. We even have something called a Choose Respect Charter, which really emphasizes just how important it is to be less judgmental to everyone. Having reflected over the last few years here, it has surprised me just how much I've matured in my thinking, and how much more responsible I am for my own learning. That's all I have for today. Thank you for your time. I hope this has been quite insightful.